Legendary musician Billy Joel shared an update on his brain disorder diagnosis, which forced him to cancel the rest of his tour. Here's what he told Bill Maher in an interview for the Comedian's podcast.
First of all, your health. I mean, all your fans are wanting to know you had something. Did we fix it?
It's not fixed. It's still being worked on.
But you look good. You sound good. You look and sound like you.
I feel fine.
Oh, okay.
My balance sucks. It's like being on a boat.
Why?
That's a good question. It used to be called water on the brain. Now it's called hydrocephalus, normal pressure hydrocephalus.
What causes that?
Nobody knows. They don't
Really?
know. What is it? Idiomatic? Idio something. They don't really know what causes. I thought it must be from drinking.
But you don't drink.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But I used to, like a fish.
But you're good. You look good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I think they keep referring to what I have as a brain disorder. So it sounds a lot worse than what I'm feeling.
Yeah. Mike Barnacle, I've seen the first part of the documentary, and I thought I knew about Billy Joel and knew about his career beginning to end. No, I didn't. I mean, this guy, again, I've always been a big fan, but just extraordinary. I mean, and where he started on Long Island and Hicksville, his friends would say there was poor, and we were all poor, and then there was Billy Joel poor. His family just he had a really tough childhood, but he had a mom and a sister who loved him and believed in him. And really, the part of the story that I didn't know was his first wife, Elizabeth Weber. My God, she came in and gave him the support that he needed to push through a lot of personal problems. And then when he couldn't find a manager to stop ripping him off, they decided and that was a quick picture of her, they decided she was going to be the manager. And it's really moving listening to them talk about his career and developing the career. And Mike, a quote that you love, William Goldman, Nobody Knows Nothing. One of the most extraordinary albums of the 1970s, an album that really encapsulated a certain time period for so many people in 1977. The Stranger. Elizabeth talked about on the documentary, the first time anybody heard The Stranger, and Columbia desperately wanted this guy to have a big hit. They sat around and they listened, and when this classic, American classic, ended, dead silence in the room. And the only thing they said was, showing what idiots they all were, we don't hear a hit. And of course, it goes on to be Columbia Records' biggest selling album ever. But my God, what an extraordinary story. What an extraordinary artist. He's always been overshadowed by whether it was the Beatles or Elton John or Bruce or all these other great artists. Man, people that still have any questions about his greatness, and there aren't a lot left, they need to watch this documentary.
You know, Joe, the conversation with Bill Maher was fascinating to watch, the extended conversation with him, because Bill Maher brought out who Billy Joel really is. I mean, rose from nothing, and as you pointed out, people would make fun of him in his origins as a songwriter, and he had tremendous difficulty being taken seriously at the beginning of his songwriting career and his musical career. And yet, you watch the documentary and you think about Billy Joel's records. You think about the content of Billy Joel's songs, the insight of his songs, what they mean to people. You think about the standout performances at Madison Square Garden for years, and you realize Billy Joel is one of the top 2 or 3 performers, musical performers, I would submit, of all time. Given the longevity of his career, the talent that he has dispensed to the United States and the world, and the songs that he has written and performed and the content of the songs. They mean something to so many people. And
Right.
he's been underplayed for years, but he is a significant factor and figure in both the music industry, music history, and the country's history.
Yeah, it really the soundtrack of so many people's lives.
Yeah.
And I remember in real time, you know, I would read Rolling Stone reviews of Billy Joel's albums, and I would sit there and go, are we listening to the same album?
Yeah.
But these people are completely missing it, and they did. Rock critics, rock snobs, as I always say. It's kind of like I've talked about McCartney from time to time too. They loved Lennon because Lennon was avant-garde. Lennon took up every cause he could take up. But Billy Joel, mocked by critics for such a long time. In fact, I think the first good review, as I've said before, I heard from him was songs from the Attic, and when he had a hit by doing "She's Got a Way" live. But you know, Jonathan Lemire, the thing is, well, the critics were terrible to Billy Joel early on. The greatest musicians, the greatest rock stars knew this guy was at another level. Ray Charles knew. I mean, the first time he heard New York State of Mind, he was like, I want to meet that guy. And of course, Billy Joel went on to work with Ray Charles. Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen, of course, we all grew up loving Springsteen, loving Springsteen's live performances. Billy Joel's live performance is pretty extraordinary as well. And all you have to do is listen to Bruce Springsteen talk about Billy Joel. And you're like, okay, well, the boss says he's kind of the boss too. Another sort of Outer Boroughs guy who is the boss. And none other than Paul McCartney said, yeah, you know, people always ask me, what song do I wish I would have written? Just the Way You Are. That's like Mozart saying, yeah, that guy's his songwriting, pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, getting a blessing from the Beatles, pretty good. And Bruce Springsteen, you're right, it's New Jersey versus Long Island, but Springsteen, the sort of critics' darling at this time, will receiving the acclaim that eluded Billy Joel for the first stages of his career, at the very least. But the two of them are, considered some of the greatest performers we've ever had. Springsteen, of course, continues to sell out stadiums around the world, and then Billy Joel, Mike, had this unprecedented run in that regard, a residency at the world's most famous arena. Just leave it right there. The residency at the world's most famous arena, where he has sold triple-digit sellouts, could have showed up any night of the week at any time and put in 18,000 people.
I would leave you with this with regard to Billy Joel. I mean, he's been an American historian as a songwriter. He has described people's lives and what's important to people. But there's one song in particular that is stamped Billy Joel, just listening to it, and it means a lot to a lot of people, and it means a lot to a lot of people who think about history and music combined together, and it's called "Goodnight, Saigon." You listen to that song and you realize Billy Joel is a giant.